Bradley. I'm an extreme endurance athlete, and this is my motivational video. The topic of today's video is be illogical. Have you ever come up with a goal that wasn't super practical? Maybe it was a big giant goal and you were really reaching for the stars, and you started sharing it with some of your friends or family, and you noticed that they made fun of you or criticized you or asked you, how could you think that you, yes, you could accomplish such a great goal? Well, I got news for you. That is a common response. If you shoot for the stars, and this has happened to all the great leaders, all the great inventors, anybody who's done something great in life, when they first came up with the idea and shared it with people, everybody either made fun of them or criticized them or both. They made fun of them, criticized them, or both. You want to come up, that's typical. So you want to come up with a goal or something, if you're going to be great, it's going to be irrational, and everybody is going to either laugh or criticize or both. I'm sure Thomas Edison, and I love quoting Thomas Edison because he tried 1,000 to 10,000 times to make the light bulb. How many people probably criticized him or made fun of him, especially after about 855 tries? Well, anyway, I have one example. I decided I'd run a 50-miler down here, and then I ran a 100-miler in California, 70 degrees. And then I heard about this race in Alaska where you run 100 miles. 100 miles in the snow with a 40-pound sled behind you, pulling your survival gear. And I said, wow, I got to sign up for that race. I remember thinking, hey, it can't be too dangerous. You got to have insurance, right? You got to be able to get insurance. I said, it's just an illusion. It can't be that dangerous. But everybody was asking me, what makes you think you can do that race? What are your qualifications? You don't have any snow experience. You don't have anything in the snow. You don't really even know about anything in the cold. You've never even camped in the cold. How are you going to run 100 miles in Alaska? And they kept asking me, and they wanted a logical answer out of me. And I got so tired of trying to think of something logical I could say to defend myself that I finally decided to say something illogical. And I said, after they asked me this serious question about what makes you think you could run 100 miles in Alaska, I said, well, let me tell you what my tombstone is going to say. He died stupid, and he wouldn't have it any other way. You know what? They didn't know what to say about that. Nobody knew what to say about that, so they were quiet, and that's all I wanted to be was quiet. I just wanted to be quiet. So my illogical self, I went up to Alaska. I did the practice things. I went up for a weekend and learned how to camp and do all the stuff that went through their course to prepare me to run up there. And I remember, and I still believe, well, it can't be that dangerous because they got to get insurance, right? And so we go out there and start this race. And I remember after about, maybe 10 miles or something, all of a sudden the sky just gets super cloudy, and a blizzard blows in, and it's like whiteout conditions. I mean, it's snowing so hard you can barely see in 1 foot in front of your face. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is a really real seeming illusion. This illusion is real. But you know what? You can't die in this because they're getting insurance. But anyway, I went through that 5-hour blizzard. And I made it till 11. I made it till 11 o'clock the next night, whatever. I was out there 36 hours. Finally, after 77 miles, I went out with hypothermia. I had the wrong kind of socks on. They got wet, they got cold, and I finally was shivering like crazy, and I had to go out of the race. But you know what? The next year, I finished it. I ran the 100 miles. Did I run it in their 48-hour cutoff? Nah, wasn't quite that fast. But I made it in 54 hours. I finished that 100-mile run in 54 hours. I was 6 hours after the cutoff. You know, I finished, nobody was around, you know, it makes her a better story. There was one lady who was waiting for me there, and she was clapping for me, you know, as I came in by myself. You know, everybody else was gone. But anyway, so I was illogical. I did an illogical thing. Thomas Edison making the light bulb was illogical. It was illogical, but we'd all be sitting in the dark if it was logical. And I wouldn't have ran 100 miles in 54 hours. If I was logical, I'd have been sitting here in 70 degrees talking about, you know, I don't know, soap operas or something. So anyway, be illogical. If you want to do something great, it's going to be illogical. How could it be logical if it's super great, a super great accomplishment? It can't be. The only way to be real logical and do something real logical that's for sure you can do it is to be extremely boring and conservative. So anyway, throw out, if you got the urge to do a big giant goal, don't care if it's illogical. Do not care. All the greats in the past who did great things, everybody originally thought they were illogical until they finally managed to do them, and then they were considered great, and now they are in history. So if you want to be great and you want to go down in history, then be illogical, like Thomas Edison. Anyway, if you're interested, you can follow me on Facebook or Twitter. If you have a comment or a question, please put it in the YouTube comment section. And if you're interested in me talking to your team, your group, your company, your organization, or in getting some mental toughness coaching from me so you can go through your own blizzard, then email me at epicbillbradley@gmail.com and we will get you out some information. Thank you very much.